y'all. Y'all. So, I know it's been a minute since I made videos and all this. I've been kind of mentally down in the dumps. I don't know why. Maybe it's just I haven't had a lot of friends talking to me in a minute. A specific person in general. But anyways, or friends at all. So I have kind of, needed some socializing, but haven't had the chance to socialize in a minute. So sorry about not making videos. So there's not much here other than work and sleep, brain power. That's it. That's all that the brain power I have right now, unfortunately. Anyways, back to what I'm doing. So today I have made a new slime. I made 2 new slimes. My first one's actually here. Why? Because why the hell not? I tried to make a slime with Gain. People keep saying that you can make slime with Gain. Well, I could tell you right now, there's just no flippin' way. Because I tried to make slime with Gain, and I got the results. I mean, it's kind of solidifying now, but it's super residuey still. And I can now touch it, but that's only because I stopped using Gain and put a lot of Tide in it. And I mean a lot of Tide. Oh, like look at the different colors. This is a bright, it looks like a bright blue to you guys, like a sky blue. But that's because there's shaving cream to solidify it because it started to melt. Then I also added more glue, and then I also added more Tide, and it's gotten to this. I can finally touch it, but by tomorrow it's probably going to be just like a giant puddle of Tide at the very top because of how much Tide had to go into this. So it did not go great, and it kind of actually looks green on my end. It's like a blue-green, but to you guys it doesn't look that way because of the lighting. But yeah, that's why the coloring is a lot lighter than the one on the table. The one on the table is just glue and Tide, like a smidgen of lotion and a smidgen of shaving cream. Just a teensy little bit. So, yeah, that's why there's different colors. So, yeah, that Tide did not work so well. I even tried mixing Tide with the Gain, and yeah, that was all bad too. So, I'm never gonna use Tide again. Just gotta tell you. So that's the slime I made when I got the Gain. I was gonna make a video, but I forgot I have storage now. That's also another reason why I haven't been making videos, just so you're all aware. So that was one reason. Then I made this slime today, just with some Tide and shaving cream. It's not the best. This has the Jacques glue in it, and then also a little bit of the Elmer's in it, and I feel like I overdid it with the Tide, but as you can see, it still technically sticks to me, so it doesn't have enough Tide, but it does, because it rips in my hands so bad, and I'm like, I need to put lotion in it, but I'm like, first I need to see if there's going to be a giant pool of Tide water on top, and have to dump it or not. So I'm gonna let it sit for a day, and then I'll touch it. Oh no, get off me. You see this? It's so sticky. This is ridiculous. I really do not like the Jacques. It's the biggest glue they have at the dollar store, which is the only problem, because I'm using the dollar store because it's just the best way. If I'm gonna buy Elmer's, I want to buy a giant thing of Elmer's. I don't want to just buy a small thing of Elmer's for $1 when I could just get a Jacques glue for $1 for the same price. I mean, look at the difference in size. I'm just like, this is more worth $1 than this is, but I want this in a bigger size and I'll just buy a gallon or something. But like, I prefer the Elmer's. Just saying. Everybody says it's the best. Also, eventually I will be using a glue stick to see if I can make slime out of that. Plus, another reason why a lot of my slimes probably don't do well is because of the fact that I'm using Tide and not borax or contact solution, which probably has a lot better solidification than Tide does. But yeah, I'm gonna do this. You have to like melt it in the microwave with a little bit of water so it kind of becomes like glue, legitimate glue without, you know, the stick format, and then hopefully that'll work. Okay. Also, I wanted to let you guys know that I also, so this is one of my store-bought stuff from a long while back when I was working at Straightforward. And I actually had to put it in hot water before it's like separated because it was so dry. It dried out so bad. It like literally broke in your hand. If you like, it wouldn't even come apart. But now I got it to be squishy. You know, and playful, but it's still kind of rubbery, which I don't like. I added a lot of lotion, and it's still rubbery. If I play with it right now, if I do it, oh, and there it goes. I was about to say, it breaks super easily. I even put, I hear hair gel, melt slime, so I started using this stuff I found in my house. It's the only styling gel I have in the household. It's not really melting it. It kind of helps just a little, but not enough. I'm sure if I got like legitimate hair gel, I'm sure it'd work a little bit better. But yeah, so this is another store-bought slime that I refurbished, so it's kind of playful, but it's so rubbery that you don't want to play with it. Figure I'd give you an update on everything. My favorite slime that I ruined is very residuey. It's still very stretchy, but it's super residuey now because I tried to make more of it because it started to deflate and it caused it to not be as fun. But it makes the popping noise still, so I'm kind of happy with that. So, I didn't ruin it too much, but it's definitely on the verge of being ruined if I keep playing with it. Then this is that watermelon slime from the store kit that I showed you all. Is that hair? Gosh dang it. What is up with these slimes getting hair in it? I clean off the areas I play on, and it still doesn't work. But it's super soft now. You can tell it looks store-bought because of how glossy it is. But it's super playful. It's not as rubbery as that other brand I have, that blue one. But it's still rubbery, as you can see. So, better than the other one, but it's still got a long way to go. I'm almost tempted to mix these two and see what happens. Or mix these with one of my normal slimes that I already created. I haven't touched this one in a minute, the one I actually put glitter in, because I'm not sure how I feel about it and how I'm going to fix it. It's still super overactivated, I think, because if you play with it and stuff, it feels weird. It has a little bit of residue, because, you know, the Tide kind of just sits there and gets all watery. It still stretches. It's just really tough after a while, after you play with it. See, I'm already having problems stretching it after just playing with it for a minute. So I'm just like, I don't know how I feel about that. So it's definitely going to be something I'll need to fix. I'll probably use the hair gel to melt it a little bit, and it might help with stretchiness. But that's that one. here's that green one I made that y'all know I like. It was super tough, and it's the super fluffy one. And look how soft I made it. It just stretches so well. But it looks like a mint green with light shining on it. It's supposed to be yellow, but it now looks like a green. So that's what happens when you mix blue and yellow. But it's super stretchy, everything. Fortunately, it doesn't do well on the pops unless you like get a giant bubble in the middle of it. Watch. I'll play with it for a second. See, super, super stretchy now. And that is a giant hair in there. Gross. Oh my god. And it's just moving with it. Yeah, that's gross. Hold on. Okay, I got it. Thank God. But I don't know how they're getting hair. Like, I use a towel and clean out the thing, but there's just hair everywhere. Unfortunately, my hair is black, so you can see it. But yeah, the stretch is phenomenal. I can make bubbles. The popping isn't the greatest. The clicks are great. But if I were to make a bubble, see, you kind of hear the pops, but they're not as poppy as I would like because of how thick the slime is. But it's fun to play with. Super soft. It leaves a slight residue, but it's fantastic. Better than most. And I have this one. Oh yeah, I have a lot, you guys. This one. This was my water slime, you guys. As you can tell, it has all the bubbles at top. It leaves a giant wet residue because of the water and the Tide mixture. But it's still my stretchiest slime all by itself because of the fact that it's a watery slime. Can you hear the water kind of spreading in it? Oh yeah. I'm trying to move things out of the way so I can show you. It's not the best place to be playing with slime, but these ones don't have pops that do well. Clicks, yes, because of the water. But if I were to make bubbles, that's what it sounds like. It just kind of sounds like a wet squeeze, unfortunately. But the stretch is phenomenal. I'm not moving my hand whatsoever. See? All by itself. So it's like legitimate slime. Doesn't stick to you unless you want it to, etc. So, my best one yet. I love it. I adore it. I'm very sad it leaves a residue. Other than the residue, I'm happy with it. For a Tide slime, it's fantastic. So, but like if you see in this, there's always water every time I pull out the slime. And that's just because the slime is legitimately water. So, it's glue and water and Tide. Okay, so now I only have 3 more to show you before I move on to the last slime I made, the one that I just made before I made this video, and the one I really want you guys to see because I think it's actually the best. But these are the 3 slimes I made in that time period of getting the game. So this still technically, I was trying to fix it today, because it was super dupery melty. So I used some shaving cream. I tried to mix it, but it wasn't mixing, so I kind of just let it sit. I probably should mix it now, but I was trying to see how poster paint, that's what this is, would do in slime. Obviously, it did not work out well because the thing started to melt and I had to try to solidify it, and I don't have clay. I don't know how much clay is. I'd never seen clay at the dollar store, so I just have never used it. One thing I've noticed with this poster paint, though, is it causes my hand to be super sparkly. I don't know if you guys can tell. Yeah, unfortunately. Oh, you can kind of see it right there when I move my thumb. You can kind of see the sparkles, which I love because you can't see the coloring, but you could definitely see the sparkles in it, and it sticks to your hand. But it's poster paint, and I was trying to use it to see if it would fix, give the slime a sparkly texture before you actually put the Tide in there. And it didn't work so well. So I'm gonna have to keep playing with this, but now it's finally kind of solidifying, thankfully. I just think it's getting it's not gonna be as sticky, hopefully. And it kind of looks like it does have that sparkle and shine that I want. So I'm kind of happy about that. So I'll have to show you guys in a couple days what this looks like after I mess with it. But I'm gonna let it sit in its shaving cream to do its thing. This was another one I made. It was supposed to just be Elmer's glue. I think it had a little bit of Jacques in it because I didn't want to overuse my Elmer's. And then Tide and lotion. And then I put a little bit of shaving cream in it today to thicken it up. And it's super wet, but it stretches. Till that happens. It's super soft, like it's fluffy soft with that shaving cream in it. So I'm kind of happy about that. There's the clicks. The stretch needs to be worked on. And unfortunately, there is no pops. So it definitely has it has a long way to go. But for making it in such a small container, I gotta say I did pretty well. Okay, now this one is going to be one of my favorites as well. It was supposed to be a fluffy slime, and it did, with the shaving cream, the glue, and I did put sparkles in it, as you can see, and the Tide. But the unfortunate bit, it started to deflate. Like, it used to fill up this entire thing, and then it started to deflate. So I tried to grow it again, and that's where I went wrong. So it's still fluffy now, but it's a sticky fluffy. Unlike before when I first had it created, it was just fluffy soft. It wasn't sticking to me. It wasn't anything. This doesn't stick to me. It just feels sticky. No clicks. There are bubbles, so hear this. Not the best. And it does have a slight stretch, but it starts to tear. See that tear? That's what one of my slimes does. Like, when I play with it, it just starts to tear. See, when I hold in my hand and pop it, the pops sound fantastic. But I was trying to grow it because I wanted to have one where I would pop it in my hand and make more of those pops instead of just the little amount I had. But come on, adjust. So yeah. So this is probably one of my favorites because of the fact that I mainly use shaving cream, glue, and Tide. So, soft, fluffy, good to go. Now onto the slime I really wanted to show y'all. So, here it is. Voila. I used this container. I wanted to make more, but this is entirely Elmer's glue. The unfortunate event was I only had 2 Elmer's glue. One was like filled about here, I used a little bit of water to get the rest out when it got to the bottom. And I used about this much of this glue in here. A little bit, I think about that much, went to a different slime, like there down, but the rest is in this glue. No chalk has been added to this. It's entirely Elmer's glue, Tide. Oh no, is there pink in there? Oh, how'd that happen? Weird. Anyways, Elmer's glue, Tide. There's a little bit of lotion and like I said, a smidgen of shaving cream. I didn't want to use too much. And I used Tide as in a way of slowly adding it. I put a pinch in every time, and then I stirred it so good to the point I knew I couldn't do much anymore, and then I added a little bit of Tide again. It was a long process, but I got to this part. It's still a little sticky, as you saw. It just stuck to me. It flies everywhere every time I pull out my fingers, but here it is. It's beautiful. I love it. I think it's another one of my favorites, but it's perfectly stretchy without me using any more lotion. It still sticks to me. And the pops. Oh, the pops are beautiful. When I actually get pops in there. Oh yes, the clickies are great too. Look at that stretch. So it doesn't stretch well when I hold it and stretch like this, but it does a fantastic job stretching when I hold it. I'm not moving. So, I love it. It's probably my best. I don't know if you could tell. I wanted to try and put a little bit poster paint into it to see what would happen if I put it in after I formulated it with the Tide. I did use a small piece, like this big, and added a little bit more Tide. And it looked fine, I guess. I don't know if I could tell if there were sparkles. And I added it to this, but now you can't see it because it was such a small, tiny piece of slime. Let me see if I can see it. Fortunately, I do not see anything. So, apparently that small piece with the I didn't use a lot. I used a very small smidgen. But I really want to use this. But because this is so great, I don't want to ruin it. But I'm tempted to split it in half and see what happens. Or use a bigger piece. But yeah. Ooh. It still sticks to me, unfortunately. But other than that, I think this is the best slime I made with Tide. Oh, and as you probably saw, I have new containers because I'm out of the old ones. I also have this, by the way, right here. Because one of these days, I'm going to do a slime smoothie where I add every single one of my slimes all here and over here. Not this one I'm going to show you. Not this one. This was supposed to be a water slime. If you look at it, it completely melted because I didn't mess with it or anything, and it's gray. That's glue, by the way, just sitting in it. I don't know what's wrong with it. I don't know what I did. I tried to fix it today because I knew I had left it for a while, and all that progress I made to make it super jiggly and stuff, but it was still too sticky, had just completely deflated, and it was entirely melted. Entirely. So I added glue and Tide, like a giant batch of Tide, and it did nothing for the slime. So unfortunately, this one's probably just gonna go to, get disposed. But all these other ones, this one, these three, maybe the store-bought slime, and this one, will be going into this. And I bought it big enough so that way once the first one was done, I could add to it, and y'all can see. It's got a seal, and it's ready to go. I'm so stoked. So, yeah. I love you guys. Have a good day. Have a good night, whatever time it is. Enjoy the rest of your day. If you got to this point, I love you so much. Put long freaking video in the comments if you reach this point, because if you did, I will be shocked. But if you do, I will mention you in my next video. KK.